Greetings everyone, this is Rishkith's review of the game Anima Tactics. Anima Tactics is a hero-based miniatures war game rather than an army-based one, and it is produced by a whole host of companies. We won't go into that. So there are a few other reviews out there of Anima Tactics, but my impression from watching them was that none of them had actually played the game. So I wanted to do a review which actually went into the details of playing the game and not just other things. I'm going to try not to be too critical of other people's reviews. So first of all, if you're interested in getting into it, you should buy a starter box. It's one of these, looks like this, has the keyword starter at the bottom. They do have other boxes that are this size and shape. They'll have a picture of a single model on here because they're for large models. They won't say starter, they won't look like this. So make sure you're buying a starter. Inside the starter you'll get the models pictured. The Dark Starter currently no longer has this model, which is a good thing. Get to that. And you'll get the rule book. This little rule book is actually pretty concise. It's a fairly simple game. The rules aren't too complicated, but each of the models basically has abilities that can break some of the rules, so there's exceptions to them. With the game you'll also get dice. It uses only 10-sided dice, which is nice. You'll get counters with every model you get. These are for keeping track of what the model can do. It uses an action point system, which is what the counters are for, so that even when it's not your model's turn to go, there are certain actions you can do to react, so long as you still have action points available to that model. Inside you will also get a counter sheet. These are status counters for effects that may go along with the model. They're also down here, you'll see the blood drops. These are for damage the model can take. I've used them for the sake of it once just to test it out, and I'll never go back to it. I recommend a 20-sided die or something like that to keep track of them on your own. A lot easier than these little blood drop things. But the counters for status work pretty nice. I glued mine to extra Hearst blocks that I had and painted them, so just so they have some thickness and weight. Inside the starter there's basic actions. This is basically just a reminder card. Basic actions that any model can take. The states, so that you can remember what they are. Let's see. When you see this skull, it means doom state. What the scenery modifiers are phases of turns. You can pause that if you want to see more. So with the starter, I'll come over here, you will get two models. In the current starter, you will get these two models exactly. They will of course come unpainted, unprimed, and if there's assembly needed, unassembled. This is actually a one-piece cast. This one, if I recall correctly, was two pieces. It's been quite a while, so forgive me if I'm wrong. There are cards that have all the stats for the figure. Concept art is on the back. This is not a painting guide. There are no requirements for how you paint your models. It's not a Games Workshop game where you have to have 3 coats of paint. Paint it like you want and then play with it. Yep. In addition to the models, every model that you get, 2 in the starter box, comes with an extra card. For some of the more powerful models it may be a second card of abilities, but for most of them it's what's called an advantage card. Advantages are something you can take just to kind of even up the game points wise. Down here in the lower right is the point of the model, so if I'm playing say a 100-point game, 50 and 45, I have 5 points left over. So I could take something like this advantage card, which is equipment and is a life potion. They can use one of these action counters and regain some life that way. Other advantage cards are powers, plots, which kind of affect everything. This one basically changes the range of most characters' powers. And then occasionally you have these team cards, which give you a bonus if certain characters are playing together on the same team. They gain new abilities and other things. It's quite nice, actually. You still have to pay for them. It's not automatic. So I'm rather fond of the game. One of the selling points to me is that it is a hero-based game. It's quick. I can usually set this game up with a friend and play through a full game while other people are just getting done setting up a game of Warhammer or Hordes and War Machine or something like that. You don't need pages of or big manual books of what they are. There is a rule book that's supposed to come out, I don't know, within this next year, that'll have all the stats of the characters in the book in case you don't want to use the card, plus something bigger to read the rules and give some more explanations, but it's not essential. So there you go. I'll show off a couple more models over here. A small talk on force building. There's factions and organizations. So you can actually play with most of the models out there. There are different ways of building groups that are fun. So if you like putting together armies and building them, this is also something you'll enjoy about this game, as force building can get fairly complicated, but not too complicated that it isn't still fun. I think the models are really well sculpted, done in that kind of Final Fantasy style. Some people don't like the style, and you know, it's all up to you. I personally don't care for the Games Workshop 40K style of, you know, Greek heroes, but you know, each person their taste. There's my review of Anima Tactics. Thanks for listening. Bye.